Well, Gary, a disappointing afternoon again, and probably undone by our first half performance and giving away 2 goals.
Well, John, I get a little bit tired, I must be honest, of standing here and going through the same conversation. I must be honest. That it's very frustrating, so I can understand it being frustrating for supporters and everybody at the football club. But you want to get through that 20-minute barrier. I thought we started off bright. I thought that 3 or 4 very good balls went into their penalty area early on. No one, not quite on the end of them, or they didn't quite fall right for us in the sense there. But you know, Kevin Betsy was probably a little bit unlucky as well. He worked the ball on his left foot and had a shot and it just went past the post. But you know, it's again, it seems a bit of a fear factor at the moment. When teams cross into our half within the first 20 minutes of the game, it tends to cause a problem one way or another, whether it's panicked, whether it's a case of we ain't shutting things down. But one thing's for sure, we're getting punished. And I thought there was a couple of half tackles, the ball broke nicely, the boys hit the shot, it's got a deflection, it's looped over Aaron Howe's head, he can't do much about it, you're 1 down. You could all of a sudden see, or I could see, certain players go flat straight away, and you could see that the confidence was drained from them. And within 10 minutes, a very, very cheap second goal. Adam Newton had plenty of time, as far as I'm concerned, to deal with the ball. It ran away from him, his control, well away from him. And the boys picked the ball up and put it straight behind him into an area where he couldn't recover, and they punished us, and that's what you get. And 2-0 at half time, and you know, you are a little bit flat, John, you are a little bit down and low in confidence. You're trying to pick players up, but you're learning a great deal as well. You're learning a great deal about players and how they are mentally as well as they are physically about their performances, and now that affects people. And I think we huffed and puffed. I thought we tried to show a bit more second half. I think there was opportunities, but I see things where there was opportunities when things are going for you, or you're not in a run at the moment of lower confidence and results not going against you, where people were having opportunities in the penalty area and didn't want to shoot or didn't want to head the ball with the fear of missing. And now you could see that, and we had opportunities to ask more questions, really, and I still believe that we had opportunities at a time in the second half that if one would have went in, we might have got back in the game. But we've got a penalty late, John, and we had a couple of chances after that. But it's not a case of a panic, it's a case of we have to have different plans, and people have to accept that, you know, certain players at the moment ain't playing as good as what they can by their standards. You also have to take compliments from last season that some of the players that you have got are being well marshalled and drilled by other teams, like for instance Kevin Betsy at the moment. Wherever he seems to go to, players either seem to be, you know, marking him or kicking him to stop him playing, and he's earned that compliment and that recognition, not only as a top pro at the highest level, but also getting 14 goals from midfield last year. And we have to look at other players to, you know, take things and responsibilities, not only a situation when Kevin Betsy is not getting as much of the ball, or things ain't going right, but in general, you know, we've got a lot of good players here, and I look at the squad of players what we've got in-house, of our own players at the moment, and I believe, to be honest with you, John, we're stronger than what we were last year in-house, you know. But you know, we've been on a roller coaster 2.5 years. And we started off last season where people have got to realise, and well, we mustn't forget that the first 7 league games last year, we lost 5 out of 7. Irrespective of who we played last season or who we played this season, we've only played one team in the first 6 games who I believe this year have been the top 10 at the end. On them performances what I've seen against, which would be Lincoln. You know, I don't look at any of the other teams we've played and turn around and look at them and think they're better than us. I'd also look at them games and say to ourselves that we probably had more possession than them. But it is a case of that, you know, there's teams there where, you know, I'm afraid to say got beaten by at the moment, where we should be having more points on the board than what we got. But we've had situations where, I'm not looking for excuses, I think everybody knows me well enough at the football club. I will always be honest, whether that's talking to yourself or talking to anybody, having a fan forum, that we've got players either at the moment underachieving by their standards, which you've got to try and get a little bit more out of. We've had a situation with losing 3 players and not getting a settled squad side, losing Josh Payne, losing Jez Soul, losing Jack Parkinson. We also lost Michael Sester for the first 2 games, or 3 games, sorry. So there's 4 of your players which are big players in the squad, which you find unavailable straight away. So, you know, it's been tough. It's been tough, but not tough where you think to yourself, you know, you're not going to relish the challenge going forward. Certainly me and Steve Thompson will. But we're learning about some players at the moment. I think we're learning about some players at the moment, whether they've got the stomach for it or whether they can roll their sleeves up enough where we are, you know, and there's some big questions to be answered.
And as you say, Gary, I think it was hugely noticeable that as soon as Gateshead scored their first goal, the air was almost sucked out of us, really, and we looked really, really flat. And is it a question then really of your, you know, asking your senior players to try and galvanise the rest of the team? How do you sort of approach it? Yeah,
I think you're right, and I think that we say certain things to senior players to take a little bit more of responsibility. Not that it's their fault, but we ask the senior players at the football club who you think have got that experience, been in that position before throughout their career, to pull some of the other ones through. But we're not the most vocalist of experienced players on the field of play. They can be at half time sometimes, they can be in the bar, they can be in their cars driving home, but that's cheap, John. You know, at the end of the day, they're in an hiding place when you're out on the park, and we've all got to work hard together. But we've got a lot of work to do, and it's a case of we've all got to work together. And you know, the support has been tremendous. It's frustrating for them. I understand, respect that. They see certain things last year, and it was a new, fresh challenge. They're seeing things at the moment and probably getting a little bit concerned. You know, but by the same token, it's, 1 or 2 new additions can change all that, and also 1 or 2 results. So, as I say, the first 5 games of the 7 last year we lost. So, but that don't mean that we're going to get it right straight away, John. We have to work hard together. But as I say, I think that we've got problems at both ends. You know, we've got problems at both ends. We have a situation where defensively, I think we've got some very good players, but we've been giving cheap goals away. And we've worked very, very hard in respect to trying to fetch players in to the football club at the moment. Up top, which we're going to continue to try and do, whether that's a loan player or that's a player joining the club. But it becomes very hard and awkward on them grounds sometimes, where people might turn around and think to themselves, you know, why these other clubs sign these players? How have they got them? Well, I think the football club don't want to go down the road, and the football club is more important, and the structure going forward for this football club of safety, stability in every way. I've gone in for a player yesterday from another conference club who was getting £1,200 a week, and I've been told that he's going on loan to another club in the conference who are paying his wages, and I shake my head. I shake my head at disbelief on certain things, whether it's egos, whether it's a game of chess, whatever way you want to look at it. That it amazes me that you hear certain things about certain football clubs, and they're going to take the player who I've got in question. And you know, we have to look at it after our house. But this football club, whatever happens going forward, I believe is in safe hands and secure hands, and we'll be a conference club again at the end of the season, and we'll work with our wage structure of 300 grand over 40 weeks. That won't change, and we'll be all right. But one thing's for sure, the football club and patience is more important long term than egos, than debts at the other end.
And can I just ask you,
Yeah.
Garry, because, you know, I think the perceived wisdom about this sort of transfer window
Yeah.
was that actually you're probably better biding your time, because the longer you left it, the nearer one got to the window. Perhaps it might be easier to fetch in a player. Have you found it different this year from what you anticipated?
Without a doubt, harder. The shorter. You know, we had Billy Knott last year, great loan signing from Sunderland. Sunderland was superb with us. Billy Knott, rightly so, with his career going forward, has gone to Wickham. Bradley Bubb done very well on loan here last year, gone to Royal Antwerp. Jaden Stockton done very well last year from Bournemouth. You know, and at the end of the day, they're all very good players we're looking at. We got 3 very good loanies in last year. There's no doubt about that. Them 3 loanies last year, what we had at this football club, got 36 goals of our 74, 75, half our total. Kevin Betsy got 14 last year. It probably didn't show last year so much, John, because you had situations where, you know, when you're winning and you get results, people don't understand, or people are not aware that those loan players that you had are loan players what have come for you, but are not your property. They're not your asset. And where we are and where the football club is going forward, that we can't find ourselves, and won't, and rightly so, chase the bar of chocolate, what I call it, what lands up melting and players don't get paid. That won't happen here. So we'll work. The club have been honest, the directors, the chairman, everyone's been honest. We know what we've got, me and Steve Thompson, going forward. We know what we've got as a fan base, and we know where we're trying to go as a football club. 2.5 years ago when we came here, the football club was on the floor. They wanted to go out of Conference South. They did tell us that when we come here. They were doing their best. They were 14th when we come, and they looked like they were going out of the league, back to the Ryman. But we steadied the ship. We got to the playoffs that year. We won the league the following season, came in the top 12 last season, and it's been a lovely roller coaster ride for the last 2.5 years. I've seen some faces recently over the last few weeks, that's what I say, very early in the season, and as I say, it's lovely when the sun shines out there and everyone's smiling, but I can see people think, why is it happening to us? We take it for granted that it mustn't happen here. Well, get ready for it, because at the end of the day we've all got to work hard together.
And next up, Garry, Alfreton away, a team going very well under Nicky Law.
Going very, very well, you know, and again, got the boy John Akindi here. We had here pre-season, offered him our top demands of wages, what we got on the structure what the football club were. It wasn't enough for John. Good luck to him, wish him all the best going forward. He was offered a deal after the Gillingham game, it wasn't enough money, and he's found himself up at Alfreton, 150 mile up the road, a lot of miles to do, and all credit there, he's a good player, and it's a case again, it's going to be tough, and Nicky Law's got some very good players here. He's a good manager, and it'll be a tough game, but we look forward to it.
Lovely, thank you very much, Garry.
Cheers.